What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, is Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, what's happening today, man?
Oh, still continuing on with cleaning up older review games. I got back into the Forgotten City, and oh boy, that's another solid one.
That's awesome. Dude, I was playing Odyssey last night, got to a fort, and got crushed after spending like 20 minutes on clearing the fort. And for those who don't know, when you clear a fort and you die, or at least get partway through it, you start all over again. So that really kind of...
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt.
I remember getting stuck on the battle phase, too. And it was just a battle that I was stuck in forever.
It's just one of those things, right? It's just like, man, I was like this close, and then one of the higher up guys kind of came around and they just took me out of nowhere. I was like, oh man, and then I turned it off. So that's how that went. I think I jumped into Siege.
You just gotta walk away.
But exactly, I jumped into Siege with Nate and Kyle, so that's what happened. I'm like, I'm out of here. But dude, you can catch our show over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Coming up on today's episode, we say goodbye to what could have been from Rockstar and say hello to our little trilogy. Jim Ryan wants more people playing PlayStation, and are we getting a Fortnite movie?
Oh no, we'll get into that.
Yep, and here we go. Scott, you ready, buddy? Dude, when I say agent, does that mean anything to you?
No, not particularly.
No. Okay, this is how it goes down. Rockstar finally puts Agent to rest. This comes from Rich Stanton over at PC Gamer. Agent was an open world spy game first spoken of in 2007 before being announced in 2009 as a PlayStation 3 exclusive. Agent was an ongoing and fairly high-profile project Sony execs continue to face questions about for years, but the news dried up earlier in 2010. Unfortunately, dude, the game just disappeared. It was a super spy action game, and it was looking very cool, tied in like all kinds of aspects of like spy thriller kind of scenarios that I was all over, man, when the Rockstar first announced this thing.
Yeah, from Rockstar, you know that's going to carry a certain pedigree standard of things in the game, and an open world spy. I don't know if that's ever been done exactly.
Well, not like this, right? Not the way that they had pitched this, and we'll get into it. But with San Diego on Red Dead Redemption from 2005 onwards, Agent was apparently conceived as part homage to the professionals and James Bond. Oh, man. This was handed over to Rockstar North, with rumors that Rockstar leads were also involved at one stage. Another source in that Polygon article described the transition thus, quote, Rockstar North got a hold of some ideas and stuff. They did a little test demo that blew anything we had done out of the water. Once we saw the demo from Rockstar North, I think they had a car that turned into a submarine or something like that and other stuff. We were like, holy smokes, end quote.
This sounds like an Austin Powers vehicle.
Exactly. When things on Agent went quiet, fan optimism was kept alive by Take-Two re-registering the game's trademark in 2016. Dude, 2016. We're like, oh man, maybe it's actually still happening, right? Well, and then the game still having a present on Rockstar's website. But that all came to a close just the other day as Rockstar removed Agent from their website, dude.
That seems like a pretty straightforward.
Oh, dude.
That's an answer of some sort, because you know they'd be advertising it. It was on their website for how many years? And
just gone. Just dude, it was gone. So there's a concept that when it was first pitched, the way the game worked is that you would have your agent, but your agent would then group up with other agents and you work together cohesively, but then other factions can come in and like take your, like, kidnap your agent. Dude, there's so many cool aspects to this game, and Rockstar just nothing. And then like, what happened to the deal then with PlayStation? This was an exclusive game on PS3. Dude, that was 2 generations ago. So like, wow. What happened there? Like, where?
Oh, even if there was a game in development now, it would have to be redone at that point because we're in 2 console generations ahead.
Yep, absolutely. The biggest thing for me is Dude, there's money up front from that. Obviously, got to be from PlayStation. There's money been fronted for the fact that you're going to bring them an exclusive title. Nothing came to light, dude. There's no agent now at all. They just took it off their website, which is super disappointing. But it's been so long. I kind of honestly forgot about the game until just recently when people started reporting on the fact that it's just no longer on the website either. Ugh. But
I worry about the same fate for Skull and Bones. That one keeps coming up recently, but it's because I've been watching Sea of Thieves, and I just keep thinking about it.
Well, that's just it, right? That just goes to show how hard game development is when you get into one of the biggest studios around. Dude, like Rockstar is an absolute rock star, let's be honest, right? You get GTA, you get Red Dead, and that's the thing is they transition when they announced Agent, they transitioned over into Red Dead, and then just obviously the last couple of years we got Red Dead 2, which was just a stellar game. What a wicked game that was. But it just didn't work for some reason. I wonder what behind the scenes kind of went, you know what, guys, we're just going to cancel this thing. It doesn't seem to be working the way we want it to. But with everybody being so online and connected nowadays, Scott, you wonder how this concept couldn't be turned into something formidable that everybody would want to be a part of, because it sounded like it was pushing the boundaries.
I'm wondering if somebody was paying attention and then they built Watch Dogs 1 and 2. Because now that I think about it, open world spy, that's about as close as I can imagine.
As of right now, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of another like spy-esque, not really Hitman, right? Like, yeah, like really, what's the closest thing we have? Not Splinter Cell, because that was back on PS3 too. So I was just trying to think of like, dude, there's nothing in this genre for a spy thriller. If there is, hit us up at the official ITG over on Twitter and let us know. We'd like to know if we're missing something, because sometimes we can't quite remember everything off the top of our head.
Saboteur, perhaps, but far different. Different.
It was way different. But dude, we're getting more out of Rockstar though, because the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition officially announced. This comes from Matt Kim over at IGN. After many leaks, Rockstar Games has officially announced the Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, comprising of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. The updated games will be released on, here we go, get ready, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via the Rockstar game launcher later this year. Mobile ports will follow next year.
Okay. Mobile ports seems quite interesting to me. I would not have bet on that one coming out.
Dude, it's the mobile market though, right? Like we talked about how big that market is. How can you not want to be a part of that? Especially with the Grand Theft Auto. You know how much money they're going to make off of that?
Oh, it's going to sell off the shelves, so to speak. You know, everybody's going to be into that one, especially people in our group, or our age group, and in the between are definitely going to hop on that, because we played Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City the first time around, and
dude,
that's going to be a good one. I'm so happy that they finally acknowledged it.
Yeah, all three games will feature across-the-board upgrades, including graphical improvements and modern gameplay enhancements for all three titles, while still maintaining the classic look and feel of the originals. More details will follow in the coming weeks. Rockstar has not actually officially announced a release date.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
Still much more work to be done, I suppose, in their upgrades. And I'm very curious to see if they will change the physics behind the car motion and the kind of kinetic things that go on, because those were almost the most defining feature of each of the Grand Theft Autos. The Grand Theft Auto 4 had its own, 5 went a little simpler again and kind of stepped backwards. But if they add Grand Theft Auto 4's physics to the driving, then it's going to feel like an entirely different game. Not that it would be bad, but just different.
Dude, I loved 4. I thought Nico was a cool character, a cool protagonist to use and play as. But man, one thing to take note of here too, Scott, is that all existing versions of the game right now for Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas will be removed. All the old ports will be removed as they're moving into the addition of these new enhanced versions of those games. Now, the other question for me lies as, we get this as a package, or do we have to buy each and every single game?
Oh, that's it right? Makes me think. It makes me think that they'd be bound together, especially because it's the definitive.
I hope so.
Edition. I hope that is. if it's titled the trilogy, then I'm definitely confident.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. I'm trying to think of when do you think we'll see it? Like, you think they're going to line this up before the holidays, right? This goes in celebration of the fact that I think GTA now is 20 years old, Scott. Oh, man. Yeah.
Time flies, but that would make sense. But then again, you think they would have a date nailed down, or they would at least want it, because I don't think they're going to try to surprise everybody 2 weeks before Christmas or so.
Dude, if they stealth drop this thing, it would sell, right? Like, seriously, it doesn't matter. Hey, GTA Trilogy's out today. Go get it. Boom. Everybody runs and flocks.
Every marketplace crashes.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be short of selling a game on this one for sure. But we'll see if we get it this year or early next. I think we get it this year. That's my fingers are crossed for it. Because, dude, I really want to play Vice City. I'm dying to play Vice City again. 3, I want to dabble in. San Andreas, dude, I remember how big that game is. I will probably dabble in that one as well. But Vice City, for me, is where I really want to go back into. And I want to see what game enhancements and visuals they're going to improve upon. But is there one that stands out for you?
San Andreas was one that I replayed because they came out with the 360 edition of it.
Okay.
And oh, did I have a good time with that. It's got to be my favorite, but I have a lot of fond nostalgia for 3 and Vice City.
Nice. Dude, let's get into the world of what's going on with PlayStation, as Sony's Jim Ryan wants hundreds of millions of people to have access to PlayStation titles. Yeah, I know. This comes from Dom Payette over at VG247. Sony Interactive Entertainment head Jim Ryan wants hundreds of millions of people playing the games PlayStation and his roster of developers makes. He's noted that there is a poor chance that dream will become a reality if PlayStation limits its products to its own hardware alone.
Oh,
dude, which is
okay. Some expansion in mind.
Well, okay, so we've seen titles now trickle over to the world of PC, right?
Okay, wait. How long until one appears on Game Pass?
Well, dude, I don't think you'll get Spider-Man on Game Pass. That's
that's the one I'm looking for. How'd you know?
Nailed it. Speaking during a keynote speech during GI Live London, the PlayStation head expressed frustration that games struggle to reach the levels of market presentation that we see from music, films, and TV. Would like to see a world where the games that we make at PlayStation can be enjoyed by many tens of millions of people, he said in an interview, perhaps hundreds of millions of people. Right now, success with the current console model, well, a current console that you can't get is one of the bigger concerns, right?
That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, a really great PlayStation hit. You're talking 10 or 20 million people playing, being able to play that game, right? That's the biggest thing. He's finding himself now that is limited with the world of PlayStation, in a sense, for what they're building. We're talking about games stacking up against music. We're talking about games stacking up against movies, music and movies that they can be enjoyed by almost limitless audiences. So, dude, and that's the case, Scott. How do they open themselves up? You mentioned Game Pass. I don't see that happening. That's their competition.
No. That would be a death knell. But no, I think they're going to go further onto the PC. We've seen them test the waters there. Horizon worked great. Days Gone worked really well, from what I could tell.
Absolutely.
So, I think they could open that up a lot. We'll never see a combination of Xbox or Nintendo. That partnership has long sailed. But other than that, are they going to partner with... They could go into Google Stadia. They could kind of try to get some control of Netflix. That one's not very likely, in my opinion. But
no,
it would be interesting to see what they do. Do they do the Doom model where everybody gets Doom? It's just free. But Doom 2, that you have to go to PlayStation for. That would be the way to... Well, it's been proven in the past that works.
It does work. That model does work, right? But I think the biggest thing for Jim Ryan and the folks over at PlayStation is to branch into the world of PC. Get on Epic Game Store. Get on Steam, right? Are they going to launch their own PC service?
That's an interesting
perhaps
thought.
Right? Can they build that audience up over there as well? And so then if they want to keep it to themselves, right? Because we know PlayStation tends to like to kind of just play with themselves instead of branching out and playing well with others, that they want to then focus on how can Sony as a business, right? That's honestly always comes down to business and how can we generate more money for the business and keep people employed and this, that, and the other. But if they launch their own version of some kind of PC launch app that will allow them still to get access to the world of computers, have your own browser there that you can then purchase, say, the next God of War on, and you still keep that money for yourself. Right, I think that's one model that they could go, or we just see them transition over into Epic Game Store and then transition into Steam, right, where there's already an audience established. Why not? There's millions and millions and millions of people on Steam. Dude, it's easily the biggest PC platform in the entire world. But you can get on GOG, right? There's other ways to go around and the things to kind of branch out to. Do they enhance PlayStation Now in some form or another, Scott? I think that's another question.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, we've seen Xbox really push into the PC area, and they've always had a little bit of a presence there. I know that that's been a long-standing thing, but you can load up their app and go on the marketplace that way, and it's still all branded Xbox. So I think if PlayStation did something, it would be very similar to that, and maybe not its own launcher, but if there's some sort of middle ground that can strike where it's all still PlayStation branded.
Well, I think they want to get now too into that streaming platform, right? We see the ability, like you say, with Xbox branching out, and we can play Xbox anywhere, right? That's one of their big focuses now, is the ability to play your Xbox games on any device, whether that's your tablet, your phone, or your PC. You're now able to take the game on the go. You're still buying it under the Xbox ecosystem. Maybe PlayStation is going to take a part of what they learned from what Xbox is up to and give us the accessibility to do the same thing. Not play on PlayStation Now, perhaps, but something with a newer version of what PlayStation Now, I think, needs to transform into. I think is the future where PlayStation, in my opinion, should be headed. I could be wrong. There's a lot smarter people over at PlayStation than me. That's why I'm sitting on this side.
They have to take those subscription dollars and put them somewhere, right? Remember when PlayStation was free online?
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And now we pay for it, right? So it's one of those things. But dude, we've seen it's proven. Obviously, the Game Pass works. So how does PlayStation Now take what that service is built upon and their much smaller audience compared to Xbox Game Pass, but still incorporate that model and allow us to take our games wherever we go? You want more and more people to play, then you need to open up your storefront somehow, right? And
I've got a naming idea. Play Pass. How about that? It's a play on Game Pass. That's fine. But it's PlayStation branded, and you have the Play Pass on your devices. I don't know. That sounds good to me.
There you go. You can copy somebody else's idea and steal it. Just like Epic Games with Fortnite movie begins expansion into a wider entertainment media. So Epic Games could be sounding like they are going to be working on the world of movies now. Scott, is that something that really surprises you at all?
Oh, not necessarily. They're a juggernaut in their current space, so kind of why not is the question that I'm left with. But I'm not sure I'm super excited on anything Fortnite beyond the game, unless they want to give me Save the World.
Well, man, you know what? So Save the World's supposed to be free, I thought, by now, and it's just not.
I thought it was like 2017. It was going to be free.
I enjoyed Save the World, but that article comes from Don Piet again over at VG247. If you thought Fortnite was already all over the place, you wait. It looks like Epic could be eyeing an expansion into wider media, extending its already comprehensive grip on the media world. According to the report from The Information, 3 high-ranking Lucasfilm employees, including the studio's former VP of physical production, Jason McGatlin, joined Epic Games earlier this year. And this is kind of what their focus is on now, as there's been a report already that they're discussing possibilities of a movie. I can't say I'm all that shocked. Epic has been working on it. So with each new season, we get a little bit of a story front coming out of Fortnite, right? Are they going to play off of what they've already built off of that, or are they going to completely bust out a new story, a new campaign of some sort? And then, Scott, you know what this allows them to do? It allows them.
The season will pick up where the the film left off.
Exactly, right? It allows them to tie in and sweep back around and hook people in. Now, I say hook people in, I'm really talking about hooking the kids back in, because a lot of us have branched off and moved on to something else, right? We all jumped on Fortnite when it first launched. I don't play Fortnite typically anymore unless I'm playing with my kid, right? That's the biggest thing. If Garrett's playing, Dad, you want to play Fortnite? Sure. I'll jump in, play a couple rounds, can't build worth crap, so I'll just shoot instead. Then put up a couple walls. I'm like, okay, I'll duck behind this one, and then I die. So, it's one of those things. I give it a shot. I have fun while I'm there, but it's not something I go out of my way to go and play. You've seen over the course of a couple of years, the audience age group go a little bit lower, right? We're talking maybe in around that 10, 12 age. I say 12 might even be on the high side of things, but they still know Epic is still, dude, they still have a ton of players over there. They know exactly what they have. And if they can get on this movie quick enough, it would probably be an animated movie, but with some huge stars come in there to voice those actors. We already saw Troy Baker come in and voice, I want to say it was Jonesy already. So if he can come back for that, you get other people involved too. You get some of the big movie stars in there.
Yeah, we really have to see if Ryan Reynolds is on the ticket for any other movies that year, because he would take that spot and people would really eat it up.
Absolutely.
But if there's a movie based on a video game license that you would want to see, do you have any quick answers? For myself, it's Overwatch. But
really, for me, dude, it's Metal Gear. What kind of seriously, we could do a movie off of Metal Gear or even Splinter Cell. Man, obviously I'm a spy thriller. That's my preferred genre, of course. But dude, you give me a movie based off of one of those, I'm all in. The closest thing I've gotten to that genre is Jason Bourne. I love Jason Bourne movies. I'm a big fan of those just because of the whole aesthetic and again, it's that spy thriller experience, and that really pulls me in. So dude, Metal Gear, we can get Metal Gear has, if you cut out all the gameplay and you just watch the cinematics, you have a movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just need Kurt Russell to play the visual guy.
Yeah,
and then David Hayter to do the voice.
Oh man, it'd be so good. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Or just put David Hayter there, give him a mullet, wig, and I'm in.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If anybody out there has an idea what they'd like to see, hit us up over at the Twitter, the official ITG. Dude, let's move into the world of New World, because they're backtracking on region transfers, and it's screen players. Apparently, Amazon made a big mistake when it told players that regional transfers are coming to New World. This comes from Sharif Saeed over at VG247 shortly after New World launched, and it became clear that the game is going to be very popular. Dude, still currently right now 913,000 concurrent players, almost 1 million concurrent players, man.
That is insane.
It came on very popular very quickly. Amazon responded to its exceedingly long queue times by promising to offer players free transfers between servers as more servers are being spun up. The server transfer feature was supposed to be live by now, but Amazon delayed it due to some edge cases. I don't know what that means. Unfortunately, that's the least of the players' problems right now. The main reason why the developer is facing a backlash is because when the feature was initially announced, Amazon confirmed that server transfers will be allowed for regional transfers. Here's where the problem goes in. As a result, many players decided to temporarily pick servers in regions outside their own simply because they had shorter wait times, with the understanding that they will be able to move back into their own region once the feature arrives. Well, with news of the feature's delay, Amazon posted an FAQ on the game's official forums contradicting the earlier recommendation and admitting that the initial information was not accurate. Quote, so the transfer to any server statement issues earlier was not true, end quote. A question reads, quote, unfortunately, the original information provided was incorrect. Scott, they can no longer transfer back, dude. They've been playing for hours and they're stuck.
Oh man, it's going to add more latency to every moment they play in that game. And it's also kind of crowding another location's server. And that's going to be an issue to those locals as well. So it kind of seems like regional transfers would be the way to go. But does this mean they're going to attach a price tag to it? Or is it just absolute no?
I don't know. But dude, what is an absolute no right now is it's the end of the show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see everybody back here tomorrow inside the game.